put this in the maybe pile for publishing, because this is the. So I was reading the Bible, the bit. What? Now I had a dream, and in that dream, someone who I thought was named Gabriel was behind me and calling out my name, or a name that I'm known by, Davy, which uh, which some people call me that name, other people call me other names. Um, and so I always Google what names mean, because until recently I didn't know they all had a meaning to them, but and like how many of them come out of that particular book. But I suppose I'd heard of, like usually it's not a very common name, is it, Gabriel? Like you usually associate it. Well, I usually would have associated it with what I've heard to be Archangel Gabriel. You know, Archangel Michael, Michael, whatever, however you want to say it. So anyway, I googled the Gabriel, and like, where does he turn up in the Bible then? And I thought, okay, I'll read those bits. It's in one of the Gospels, I think Matthew, maybe, I can't remember. Um, and so I read the little bit about Gabriel, and it's basically he's the one that turns up and foretells of the coming of John the Baptist being born, and also of Jesus being born. So he's like the bringer of those kinds of news. Now that's nice little story, isn't it? Nice little part of the thing, because if John the Baptist exists, he has to be born, and so does Jesus. They have to, ta-da. Why not have some kind of angel come down and tell him? But he's on the right side of the temple in the story. So if you encountered any sacred secretion, like, unpacking or that kind of thing, everything becomes physiological instead of maybe historical, right? So Gabriel turning up and on the right side of the temple. This is your temple, right? These are your temples. So on the right side of your brain, really, basically. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so potentially John the Baptist is a kind of another kind of some kind of solution, some kind of internally made oil, some kind of concoction. Like there's a magician, like a wizard inside you, like a chemist, and he's sitting there tinkering with the bits, right? Because your endocrine system, that can manufacture all kinds of stuff, right? So you got a pituitary gland and a pineal gland and a fucking thymus, thalamus, all these adrenals, they can do stuff, right? The spleen, they do specific things, but they can also, in my understanding now, is that they can create new and novel things that need sort of an activation, right? So, and this is coming from that part. This is coming off that part where I intuitively, I read the part where Jesus, because Gethsemane was in my mind one morning. It was like, and I was definitely visiting the fucking hell realm. So awesome. But then so I was given a Bible that day, and so I looked up the Gethsemane bit and I read it in one of the Gospels. It's probably in all of them. Okay, whatever. Um, and some chick smashes some perfume, or like tips a cup of perfume or a jar of perfume over Jesus' head. And loads of others are like, "What'd you do that for? Fucking expensive stuff, mate. Like, what a waste. Like, we could have smelled amazing for years with that." And she's like, and Jesus like, "Dude, I'm here for a limited amount of time. Just like, chill, bruh. Like, you'll have forever and ever to be, you'll have poor people forever. But like, I'm only here for a limited time. So, chill, bruh. It's done anyway. So, and I read this one night and I was like, oh, I reckon that is that's alluding to, on at least on one level. I'm not against it being historical or against it being just a metaphor, or what's it, like a some whatever word you want to call what the Bible is personally. Who cares? I don't care. All of it is up for grabs. But taking just humoring this idea that the body can secrete certain chemicals, certain new novel things, and like I kind of I intuitively felt this, and then later on, like 5 minutes later, this lovely drug-like effect took place in my brain. Like it was like I'd smoked a big bowl, or I'd, someone had given me some nice, clean opioids. Like really, it was quite lovely. It wasn't horrible. Like whatever your stigma is against stuff, like whatever. It's a painkiller, whatever. Like it was lovely, and I sat there, and for the next few hours, I'm like, I don't want this to leave. I hope this stays until I go to sleep. And I was cooked. I was high, like really quite lovelily high. So, I, what I could take it as I personally do take it as confirmation. I'm not bothered about whether anyone else needs to come on board with that at all. But so it's easier for me to then experience this Gabriel, like this sort of. Well, anyway, then a few days later, more like just recently, the right side of my brain. I mean, I'm happy for it to just be for me to be that suggestive, where none of it's true, and I'm just you could tell me that. Marshmallows make you learn Japanese quicker, and I'll learn Japanese quicker because of marshmallows, right? Like, if you put a marshmallow under your pillow on the second Tuesday of the month, then you'll be able to do maths like better than like Stephen Hawking's. Like okay, and I'll be the biggest maths wizard ever. Maybe that's that. Maybe that's how it's worked. Maybe that's all that's happening, or this Gabriel thing is like there's a process, and it's all like worked out, and it's systematic. And when so I felt this thing in my brain, and I don't know, it's not pleasant. There's like a lot going on there. I can feel things being manufactured, and then I can feel them being moved around my body. So like I don't know, maybe that was the birth of John the Baptist. She says you'll feel a kick in your stomach when blah 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 happens, and there's all kinds. I mean, yeah, there was a kick in the stomach. There was all kinds, like everywhere, all over. It's starting here and interacting with my torso. I, for all I know, I could be dying. Who knows? Maybe this is stage 8 cancer. Fucked if I know. Whatever. Either way, I don't care. Um, just I can only report on what I think is happening and what is happening, right? And what is happening is that there is activity in this side of my head, particularly, and then like these I can feel these squirts, this process of happening, and it requires me to be in a certain state of allowance. So I have to let it take place. I have to get out of the way. I have to either be in a position, like laying down or sitting up, some calm way. I have to be calm, and I have to let it, and it does things by itself. And I've been doing this kind of thing for years, so it's not really new to me. But so I don't know. I mean, I'm not calling him John. He didn't knock up and go, "Hi, I'm John. Like, I'm gonna be baptizing you now." God, imagine how many people that could piss off. Just go, "Hi guys, yeah, I met John the Baptist the other night. Yeah, he baptized me. It's inside my brain. It's inside your brain too, but you can't get there yet because you haven't sat still long enough." Fuck, imagine like just, wow, put this on. Fortunately, there's not really very many views on my videos, so if you found it, well done, good on you. Watch out. So I don't know, and like, is it coincidental with there having been some of the most stunning activity between my shoulder, where there's been this gremlins, like the whole thing is locked up, like it's full. I can feel it, and this is apparently a sign of Kundalini. This is got to do with the thyroid or like the throat chakra, right? It has that if you Google stuff, it says yes, shoulders is to do with throat chakra. Now there's been so much activity in there. I can feel all kinds in there. So it's either all guff or it's all true or what, I don't know. But there's stuff. It heralded this Gabriel fucking thing happening. Heralded that, like it came before that, it foretold of that, right? So maybe that is John the Baptist. I don't know. It's fucking. I'm swimming around in the dark, mate. Have you read that book? It's so what? Okay, it's 2,000 years old at least, and it's written in poetry and fucking nonsense and allegory and like metaphor and like what's just all kind of parable, like so you gotta sift through that. You gotta go, oh, well, because you can connect dots that aren't there. I'm fucking pretty good at that, I'm sure. But then also you're connecting dot. You're like, well, it can't be otherwise. These dots match up. This aligns, right? So, oh, I don't know where I'm going now. It's just fucking just whatever. I'm in it, and I'll report back. Mate, what does it mean? Does like Jesus is on his way as well? Like, if John the Baptist is the one that come before Jesus and he comes before him, so what? Does that mean that there's going to be some other one which happens and that's going to be, then I'll know what the fuck Jesus is for legit. Cool. There's buzzwords there. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Warning, warning, warning.